In this lesson, we're going to show how we verify that one function is the inverse of another function. So before, the idea, remember, is that one function, if one's an inverse of another, it will perfectly undo the original, whatever the original one does. So we're going to do a composition for this. So we're going to take f of g of x. So we're going to put one function into the other function, kind of just see what happens, and then we're going to talk about the result that we get out of this. So we're going to take g of x, and we're going to plug it into f of x. So we're going to be taking x minus 8 over 5, and we're going to sub that into that x on their original function. So it's going to be 5 times x minus 8 over 5, and then plus 8. All right, so if we put all this stuff together, that 5 cancels with that 5. We'd have x minus 8 plus 8, and then those go away, and we're left with x. So is that good? Is that bad? Well, if the idea of an inverse is that it's going to undo perfectly what the original one does, technically we plugged in x into this first function. And so we plugged in x, and this is what we got. When we plugged this into what we're assuming is the inverse, then it perfectly undid it and gave us back the original value. So it doesn't matter if you put 100 in here and did this math and then plugged it into the other function, it gets you the 100 back out. So that's a perfect sign. So it undid exactly what the first one did. So we're going to switch that around, because we got to check inverses shouldn't matter which one is the inverse and which one's the original. So we'll really verify it by now taking this function and putting it into this function. So you have g of f of x, which is x plus 5x plus 8. All right, and then we're going to take that and plug that into that x right there. So we have 5x plus 8 is x, and then minus 8 divided by 5. All right, so those two undo each other. You're going to be left with a 5x over a 5, and those 5's undo each other, and you're left with an x. So that's perfect. So it doesn't matter what direction we go, they perfectly undo each other. So yes, they are inverses. Okay, and that's how you verify if one function is the inverse of another function.